Hi guys, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. You guys can already tell by the title of this video that I'm going to be doing a comparison from my old truck, a 2018 Freightliner Cascadia, to my new truck, a 2022 Freightliner Cascadia. A while ago I made a video where I was showing you guys how I moved in and decorated my truck, and at that time I did explain to you guys that I was told by my company that they were going to eventually move me out of that truck that I currently had into a new truck. Now, I didn't ask too many questions about it. When I got into the 2018, I recognized that it had been used for a while. It wasn't a terrible truck at all. I still really liked it. It had charm. It was different, but it was by far the oldest vehicle that I had driven as far as having my CDL license goes. It had 420,000 miles on it already when I got into it, and they told me that they were planning on trading it soon and that I should not purchase a refrigerator, that I should just hold out until they got me a new truck. They could not tell me when they would be giving me a new truck, but the guy that I talked to, he was sounding like he felt like they were going to give me a truck relatively soon. Now, I did not feel that they were going to give me a brand new truck, but they actually did. So shout out to them. They gave me a truck that had never been used before. It is brand spanking new. It had 600 miles when I received it. So if that isn't a blessing, I don't know what is. It has the new truck smell, which if y'all saw my last video, y'all know I technically don't like new car smell, but hey, it's worth it. So with that being said, I figured I would go ahead and give you guys a interior comparison between the 2018 Freightliner to the 2022. Also be aware that there are different models per year and things like that. I don't know the specs behind a lot of these trucks, so my specific 2018 Freightliner Cascadia may be different from other models depending on, I don't know, base and things like that. I can only assume that there's other models besides base, and I'm unsure of what these trucks were, if they were base or if they were limited, whatever. I don't even know if it's considered limited. You get what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. I'm not a truck expert. I only know what I use on a daily and the things that I find valuable. So with that in mind, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the comparison that I did. This is the 2018 Freightliner, and it is completely empty. I spent the last 2 hours cleaning it out. It has these cubby looking areas at the top. We have that up there, and then that one above, and then we have something for glasses and all of that. That's for the CB. That's another cubby area. There are no cubby areas up top on these sides. And then when you turn around, there's both the mattresses for the bunk bed. There are the two windows on either side. And then here is where you control the heat and everything. And then of course you have the cabinet here. You have this table. It's just dusty, but I wiped it, which has the compartment for whatever you want to put in there. Then you have this. Of course, there is car ports for the electricity and things like that. Then you have this top area here for, I used it for clothes. It came with this rod. And then on this side you have not quite the same thing, but you do have this cubby area here where you can plug in something. This is where I put my food, and then it has a pocket here as well, and then you can feed things through that way and plug it up here and things like that. And then you have this area down here. And then up here is where I kept all my pantry items. But it's just an area up here for additional storage. Outside of that, everything is pretty normal. There's Pepper right there, confused. One thing I will say is this glove compartment came in handy. This is everything. Alright, and now we are in the 2022 Freightliner. So easily I can tell right off the bat that it is a lot darker in here. They have black interior instead of the light gray, and then they have the Cascadia. Mamas, okay, all right, come here, I got you. She's being a brat. But they have the Cascadia emblem here, which I think is so cool. They have the same windows like in the last one. One thing that I recognize is different is they actually have this here, which is a light. Let me turn it off. And then they also have the heating and cooling system back here as well, but it's set up a tad bit differently. One thing that I recognize that I actually like is that the cubbies actually have doors, but the doors slide upwards instead of come out, which is so cool. That's plenty of space there. And then you have this big old area, which I recognize, though it doesn't have the bar like the other one, it still has this handle type thing, so you can still use it to put your hangers on top of for clothing and things like that. And then down here we have, similar to the one in the 2018, the cubby down here. Pepper. Over here, one thing I noticed that's different is it's open space right here, which is cool. You have this area, which I would assume is for some type of appliance like a microwave. You can see they have the 3-prong ports here. And then up here, you do have another cubby similar to the one behind us, which has open space. And this is a lot of space, by the way. One huge difference is, unlike the 2018, sorry, I'm about to fall, this has a refrigerator. It comes built in, or at least mine does, and then it has a freezer here, which is, ooh, that's magnetic, so it can stay up and go back down. And so this must be the drawer. Yep, this is a drawer. But here is the inverter, which you would just need an extension cord. And then you have these two hookups right here, which is cool. One thing I noticed is this doesn't have a glove compartment like the last one, which it's not that big of a deal, but I do wish it had it. But they do make up for it in the cabinet space. You want me to hold you, mamas? I got you. They do make up for it in the cabinet space. You can open it here, and there you go. You have this all up top here, so if you look back and come forward, this is a bunch of space. It's deep too. And then you have the same cabinet on this side, which you can close if you want to. Above the driver's side, you have this that opens up, and there you are. One other thing that I recognize is, unlike the 2018, this finally has a USB port, which my other trucks before this company had that, but the 2018 is an older model, so it didn't have the USB. It only had the auxiliary cord port. I know, mamas, you want me to hold you. One other thing is we have the kingpin release button, which the 2018 doesn't have that. I've always pulled it manually. If you guys have followed me for a while, you know that my first ever company truck had this, and then I ended up going to a different company, and the truck I had, I think was a 2020 Freightliner, it didn't, but the 2022 does. So that's super cool. For people who smoke, it does come with this cigarette lighter thing installed, and then it has this this cigarette ashtray, things like that. It still has cruise control, just like normal. And this looks just like the 2020 that I had. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything else looks the same. Don't mind my computer. I'm still trying to upload this video, and I can't keep it too far from my phone because that's my hotspot. Okay, so I could tell you off rip, one of the things that I did not mention in the videos that I showed you guys is that, for one, this truck has brighter lighting than the previous truck. The previous truck had yellow, dimly lit lighting. It didn't matter how many lights I turned on, it was yellow. It was almost orangey. It completely canceled me out, and I had to bring my lights in when it came down to editing if it was later in the evening. It was just a no-go. I could not record in that orange light. You could barely see me. In this truck, however, I feel like I could grow plants in here. Like, it's bright. I have no lights that I bought, only the lights up top. That's what you guys see me in. I have so many lights, and it has a feature with ambient lighting as well as just the traditional dome light. Of course, the other huge thing is this truck came with a refrigerator. Now, I'm unsure if the traditional 2022 Freightliner comes with a refrigerator off rip, if the base model does, but I do know that this truck does, so I'm happy about that. This refrigerator is, like I said, brand spanking new. It gets super cold. It does have a little freezer compartment to it. It's bomb. I'm so happy. I threw out my cooler because my cooler was going bad anyway. One thing I recognize about coolers that you purchase that have the little carport attachment is that they burn out very quick. The first cooler I had, it lasted me almost the entire duration of my first year driving, so I would say it burnt out in 10 months. The issue is you have to keep it plugged up, and I guess just having that carport in the socket for a long period of time, it just burns out over time. So coolers to me are a good quick fix, but they don't last. Another big thing about that is also you can't really pack it tight. So if you have items in there, you pretty much can only put your basic items in there. You can't fill it to capacity. It's not going to keep your food as cold as you need it to be. If you keep like small things, like maybe milk here and then a couple other small items, maybe it'll keep it cold. But for the most part, I had to use a freezer pack every week since I drive regional. I would take a freezer pack, put it in the freezer of my home, and then I would take it with me every week and stick it in my cooler. And it would keep my food cooler longer than if I were to just rely on the cooler by itself. I would say the last 3 weeks that I was using the cooler, though, I did recognize that it was starting to wear out. That cooler was a cheaper model than the original cooler that I did have. But I would 100% say refrigerator. If you are thinking about getting into trucking, don't even bother with the cooler if you plan on being in the truck long term, because you're just gonna have to replace it eventually. Another thing that I recognize about the two trucks is, though this truck looks like it had more storage space, it actually didn't, or maybe it does, but it's harder to organize with this type of storage space. And what I mean by that is the truck has it where there is a lot of open space, and where I had open space in the last truck, it was on a fabric like surface. There was a fabric surface on it, and so I was able to put things like wire baskets on there and have confidence that it wasn't going to slip and fall. This, however, most of this truck is, I guess it's considered vinyl. Most of it is vinyl, so I can't sit like a wire basket on it and expect it not to fall if I'm driving. So that limits my ability to use that space. When it comes down to where I was originally putting baskets on top of my open surfaces, now I have to figure out other ways. Now I can go and purchase, say, a Velcro strip from like Walmart and stick it on there and then stick my baskets on top of that. But being that I'm the only person in this truck, it's only been me, I do not want to put this truck through anything because they're gonna know it's me. There's no question about it. So things like scratches and all that stuff, because nobody else is in this truck, it's only me, I'm gonna be the one looked at. I don't want to put anything that I feel is going to leave a mark of any type. So, you know, Velcro strips, they have the sticky adhesive backing. I don't even want to try that on this vinyl. This is fresh, okay? The only thing is, I know a lot of people use their top bunks for when they are trying to figure out other ways to use storage spaces. However, I like my top bunk up because it's brighter. I normally use the top lighting instead of just the little small lights that are in my bunk area. If I have the top down, it's significantly darker. It's almost useless to have the top light on. You get what I'm saying? So, or at least that's how it is in this truck because I tried it. So with that, I've had to be very strategic with how I organized everything, which I will probably show you guys in the next video. Let me know if you guys want to see how I organized the truck. Another thing that they took away is my glove compartment. I did like the glove compartment. I used it for my air valve lock and things like that. So, you know, small things like that. But one big thing that I definitely love is that they do have the side compartments for this truck, and I'm able to close them. That's bomb. Even the compartments above the heads of the driver and the passenger, I had netting, and so sometimes if I hit a bump, things will fall from the netting. But now in this vehicle, I have doors that can close, and so I don't have to worry about things like that. One other thing that I recognize is that the inverter in this 2022 is actually in the side box instead of being underneath the bed. So technically it is still underneath the bed, right? But it's not accessible from underneath the bed. It's accessible from the side box. I have to actually go outside and turn it on. That's, to me, not necessarily a pro or a con because I haven't necessarily had to deal with it besides initially turning it on. I wonder if it's going to be annoying later. It hasn't been annoying so far, but I think that it did give me a lot more space underneath the bed, whereas in the 2018, the inverter made it it wasn't a perfect square underneath the bed for me to put items. It didn't really cause any issues, but now I have like the perfect square, so like if I want to pack things, I don't have to play Tetris in order to get it all in there. So that's cool. One other thing that I noticed, very small, minute, is that my last truck, 2018, the cup holders were a lot higher than this 2022. I actually have a puppy, which you saw in the video. Her name is Pepper, and she's a Shih Tzu. And now that she's been used to the truck, I am comfortable letting her roam. She's practically potty trained. She doesn't tear up anything. She's literally a great dog for being on a truck. But the issue is the cup holders being so low. If I have something up there that is open, she can get to it now, where originally she wasn't able to jump and actually get whatever's in a cup holder. So I have to be more conscious about what I leave in a cup holder now because my dog can get to it. Is there anything else? Of course, the interior is a lot darker, but I actually really like that. It's just fresh, it's new, it's clean, it's bomb. I can honestly say I did not expect for them to give me a 2022 truck. Okay, I feel like this is definitely a blessing, so I'm super happy. If you guys want any other videos revolving around the 2022 Freightliner, I don't really know what else to show you guys just because I'm not like an expert on trucks. But if you guys have any questions that you feel that I can answer with having this vehicle, let me know. And so yeah, I feel like I got everything that I had in my mind about this truck. Oh, obviously I love the Cascadia in the background, but I feel like I've already said that in the video. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely leave some comments down about this video. Let me know if you want any other info like I said. And yeah, I hope you guys are loving more for the month of May, a segment that I'm doing where I'm posting 2 times a week. But yeah, I love you all so much, and I will see you all in the next video.